Agents, you have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. Open. Chicago with the lead. Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Under it, and to the middle with the 15, to the 20, breaks free of the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh, touchdown Bears!
Time in 6 seasons, it's one goal achieved. The Chicago Blackhawks win the Stanley Cup. Right. A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it, throw to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up? What up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this House Music Monday. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Listen, go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Like that page as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll also be following Shawn and Maya in the morning. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, listen, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, and then click the notification button. That's the bell right next to it. All right. It'll let you know what anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching us on our mobile app, and don't even tell me that you didn't know we had a mobile app. What is wrong with you? Listen, wherever you get your apps from, I don't care. Whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Venture, Woolworth, wherever you get them from, you go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it, you take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew. And I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. And if you're watching this on a Roku channel, yay, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Listen, if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. So listen, if you have a Roku television in the house, okay? You have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download the Sports Zone Chicago tile. Put it right there. All right, put it next to Netflix, Prime, Hulu, Disney Plus, Amazon. That's right, it's Prime. And Paramount Plus, Stars Power Book 4 with Tommy. That's coming up September 1st. I'm excited about that. Stars, Showtime, Billions. I'm caught up on Billions. I'm waiting for Axe to come back. He was in for 2 episodes and he wasn't back anymore. Yeah, I want him to be a player. But anyway, so just download Sports Zone Chicago's tile. We appreciate it. And you know what? Download it to all of the Roku TVs in the house, even if it's one that you're probably not going to watch because it's the kids' room and they have, I don't even know what Barney's like generation ago. So I don't even know what kids are watching now. But just download it to all of them. We'd appreciate it. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI. At Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me. Personally online, you want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. You want to know what I did? Here's what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my lovely co-host, Maya Kai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IGer and you do it just for the gram, we'll just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. We have a phenomenal show today, but we need you to get interactive with us. So listen. We'll talk about it. Yeah. Heck. All right, we're good. We're good. Steve said we're good. You guys hear me clearly again? All right, there we go. I don't know what the heck happened. Anyway, leave a question or comment on there, and it'll come up here. We'll talk about it, and that's what makes this the best Chicago Sports Talk morning show is you. Your questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, bring them all, baby. Ain't nobody scared over here. Listen. At 10 o'clock, my man Nomad, you've seen him in the chat a lot of times. I've been on his show once or twice. Good football mind. He's going to come on. We're going to talk Bears. That's at 10 o'clock. And then to close out the show, our man Lauren Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast. And he's also doing some stuff on Bleacher Report. He's going to join us at 10:30 to close out the show. We're going to finish up heavy Bears talk. But don't fret. Do not fret. We have a lot of baseball talk. A lot of baseball talk. It was a very busy weekend on the South Side. And not all of it was good. Let me tell you. Not all of it was good. The Cubs couldn't get that sweep over the weekend. Ugh. They need, because the Cubs are what? They're going into, they're 2 in a row. Couldn't get that game on Friday. Told you, you got it. And that remember, they are 3 games. They lost. They're at 4 games. They're 4 games back now. They're lucky they took 2 out of 3, but you can't. You got to sweep these bottom-feeding teams. Bottom-feeding teams. They didn't do it. We're going to talk about that as they welcome the Brewers. The red-hot Milwaukee Brewers to the north side. So, man, we got a lot. And then you got people talking ish. See, this is the thing that bugs me. It makes sense, but it's just friendly fire. American sprinter Noah Lyles kind of taking shots at the NBA. NBA players are clapping back. It's just a cluster mess. It really, for what? For what? Come on. Stop it. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. But that's the lineup, baby. 10 o'clock, Nomad. 10:30, Lauren Cox. That's what we're talking about. Let's see who we got in the chat line. It's jumping already. Lord have mercy. Cornelia Squalls, what up? That's what I'm talking about. Lavette Lee, she's in the Mickey Ficky house. Monica, Mija, how are you? Oh, it was great seeing you yesterday. Awesome seeing Jeremiah. Oh, I loved it. My man Armando Emeterio, Lara Jr., he's in the house. I mean, Jeremiah has got to be close. Dito would be close, but Dito's going to school. Oh, you can't hang with Pop-Pops anymore. He's got to go to school and get educated. So it's just Pop-Pop and Jeremiah and Monica for a little while. Cornelius Squalls, I had you already. Who else? Brandon Schutz in the house. Thank you, Papa, for tuning in. I appreciate it. And listen, I don't know a lot about a lot. Junior said Jeremiah's watching now. It's good to see you yesterday. I loved it. I don't know a lot about a lot, but let me tell you something. I do know this. More of the wow. It said, yeah, I don't know why it's continued to do that. Why it's continued. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me take a quick quick break. Let me take a quick break, and I'll restart my computer. All right. Yeah, because I don't know. I don't want this to keep happening. It's ridiculous. I have no idea. And yeah. So give me a second. I will. So here's what we'll do. We'll go to a quick break and then come back. And then we'll hit the top of the morning topics. And we got to run after that. We got to move. Where do we go? Uh-oh. Here we go. All right, Steve, take me out for about a minute. Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators. A passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds. Help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning. I don't even know what the heck happened. But guys, you know how we do. Coming right back into it. A little crazy today, but don't worry about it. We got it. All right. First segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Yeah, the first top of the morning topic. Man, we got to fly through these because we got a slew of them today. First top of the morning topic. The White Sox. Yay. I like this kind of party, baby. The White Sox with a big win yesterday over the Oakland Athletics. 6-1. Mike Clevenger had a no through 5. He got the win. He's 6-6 on the season. He wins 7 innings, 1 hit. Beautiful. It was a duck snort too. Oh, it was a duck snort. 1 earned run. The guy he gave the hit to, I can't remember who the name. He got the hit. Steals second, steals third. Steals second, steals third, and then gets brought home on a blooper. Crazy. That was Butler. Butler Louise. Oh man, that was crazy. That was nutso. But what a beautiful game by Clevenger. My man Yo-Yo, you see him in the picture here. He's coming. Is he having a resurgence? I hope it's the start of he finishes the year strong and comes on strong again next year. But he was 4 for 4, had 2 doubles. the 15th and 16th of the year, driving into his 27th and 28th runs of the year. Andrew Vaughn was 2 for 4 with a ribby, his 65th. Gavin Sheets was 1 for 2 with driving in his 31st. And Tim Anderson was 2 for 5, along with Andrew Benintendi, who was also 2 for 5. Good day for the White Sox. They were in the news a lot this weekend, quite a bit. Just keep up with this really quickly. The Sox travel to Baltimore for a 3-game set today. Michael Kopech is on the bump. He's 5-11 with a 4.95 ERA. He's going up against Grayson Rodriguez, who's 3-3 with a 5.38 ERA. The White Sox are going nowhere, and they're going nowhere fast. But the White Sox were in the media a lot. On Friday, I was there. All right, they had the Back to the 90s concert scheduled. Tone Loc, Rob Bass, and Vanilla Ice. He was going to be the headliner. Now, mind you, each of those guys has like 2 songs. All right, Tone Loc, Wild Thing, Funky Cole Medina, Rob Bass, It Takes Two, and he's got another one with the same bass line as It Takes Two. And then Vanilla Ice had Ice Ice Baby and what? It's the song from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, that's pretty much it. So it's going to be a 6, maybe 7 set concert. Well, it gets canceled. Okay, it gets canceled because a couple of people were shot in the stadium. So there's a whole bunch of rumors going around. I actually knew, let me see, the people that I met there are actually friends with the person who was shot or who has a bullet lodged in their leg. A bullet grazed someone's abdomen and went into a woman's leg. So understanding, so my friends giving me some info. Reports are coming out that are just totally off. They're saying that the woman snuck the gun in. It was crazy. It happened in the 3rd inning. They continued to play the game. The rest of the other 6 innings, and then they canceled the concert. My thought was, if you played the game, you might as well have the concert, because most people who are at the game were only there for the concert, not for the game, because people are fed up with this team and this organization. But comes out, and so we're getting different. So here's the one thing I can't tell you. All right, they're trying to get the girl to admit that she had a gun. The woman who has the bullet stuck in her leg. She was like, "I don't have a gun. I don't have a gun." Apparently, when ID and everything, there's a FOID card in her wallet, so they're trying to get her to admit. She's like, I didn't bring a gun into the game. So some people were saying, well, she brought it in, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? They took her clothes, no gun residue on her clothes. So that negates her bringing a gun and having it discharged on her person. Because you know anything about guns, there's going to be gun residue, nothing on her clothes. So now they're saying that if someone else could have had it in the park that was next to them. They're saying gunshot could have happened outside and landed in the park, which is possible. So we're waiting to find out. But it was crazy. It was insane. People were upset. They were mad as all get out in regard to the lack of the cancellation of the concert. And oh yeah, by the way, the Sox got their ass kicked 12-4. So to top it off, people had to sit through that whole game. Not me. I got there in the 8th inning because I wasn't going to watch. I didn't even. I mean, they could have won 100-0. I still would have got there in the 8th inning. So people were mad. They had to sit through that massacre and that BS, and then the concert gets canceled. I felt bad for the ushers because they had to deal with a whole bunch of drunk fans. And here's the crazy part: because the concert was going to be happening after the game, did that beer sales go to the end of the game? And then they were going to cut beer sales at the end of the game. So now instead of people drinking up until the 7th inning, people drank through the whole game. They drank through the whole game, And at the end of the game, when we were expecting a concert, and it gets canceled, then they got to kick everybody out. Now you've got people who've been drinking for an extra 2 innings. Yeah, it was. I felt bad for the ushers because they're just doing their job, security. But man, some people were really disrespectful, really rude. Which to me, like, it doesn't make sense to me because the securities and the ushers, the security guards and the ushers, that has nothing to do with them. They're not making that call. They're not the ones canceling the concert. They were just the bearer of bad news. And, you get people drinking all 9 innings. And people were fired up because it was extended drinking time. Extended drinking time. So, yeah, it was crazy. Crazy. So, moving on to the next top of the morning topic, the Cubs. The Cubs destroyed. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God, Becky. They destroyed the Pittsburgh Pirates, as they're supposed to. 10-1 yesterday. Okay, Javier Assad, he got the win. He's 3-2 on the season. He wins 7 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 1 punch out. Cody Bellinger, cha-ching. Yet again, he's 3 for 5 with 2 doubles. 22nd and 23rd of the year, driving in 5 ribbies. The Candyman can, and he did. He was 1 for 5 with a homer, his 19th, driving in his 63rd, 64th, and 65th RBIs of the season. Mr. Outcast himself, Suzuki, he was 2 for 3 with 2 doubles and driving in his 48th RBI of the year. The Cubs, welcome. Man, remember I told you the Cubs had to get it together. They had to sweep it. They didn't. All right, so they lost the first game, and now they welcome the red-hot Milwaukee Brewers to Wrigley Field for a 3-game set. What? They welcome the red-hot Milwaukee Brewers for a 3-game set. And I'll tell you what, red-hot, I could have put white-hot. I should have put white-hot. Brewers have won 8 in a row. The Brewers have won 8 in a row. So, Cubs have their work cut out for them. Jameson Taillon is on the bump today in the series opener. He's 7-8 with a 5.60 ERA. He's going up against Wade Miley. He's on a bump for the Brewers. He's 6-3 with a 3.18 ERA. Big series. If the Cubs can sweep, man, they'll be a game out. If they win 2 out of 3, they'll be, 3 games out. 2, 3. They'll be 3 games out. They'll gain a game. If they get swept, they'll be 7 games out. So big series, very important series for the Cubs. And you know what? You're still playing meaningful baseball in late August. All right. Going back to the Sox, the next top of the morning topic. According to Bob Nightingale, who's got all the inside scoop, the White Sox are exploring a move out of their stadium, Guaranteed Rate Field, after the lease expires in 2028. And they're looking at 3 different sites for a potential move. One is the United Center area. They have quite a few parking lots over there. They could build on the parking lot, a couple parking lots. The next one is in Arlington Heights. And the next one is Soldier Field, which doesn't seem plausible. Like I don't even see how you can fit a baseball diamond in there. It's just because you still have to. You got to get the dugouts. You got to get how do you get all that in there? All right, but this is according to Bob Nightingale. I think there's just a lot going on with Reinsdorf. I think he's seen the Bears are going to get a new stadium, so he wants a new stadium. But you know how I feel about him. I think I think he's out of touch. Out of touch. Got a new guy, person I haven't seen, Brian Hendren. What's up, Papa? How are you? Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. My man Luis Mejia. I'm in Arkansas, Veterans Reunion. Okay. All right, my man Luis. He's like, I got to get out of town. I met up with Luis and G on Friday at the game. I met up with them Friday at the game, and when I got there, they were telling me about what was happening. That was crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Luis, I got more info for you. I'll text you. I'll tell you about it, man. From some reports I heard from some people yesterday who cops and firemen, and it's nuts. It's nuts. Brandon is that I want to carry have to rooftop what the Brandon, I have no idea what the heck you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. But anyway. The Sky with a big win over the Seattle Storm yesterday, 90-85. Big win for the girls. I'm happy. It's tough. It's a tough. You know how I feel about what's happening with the girls. I really hate how stuff went down, how all 4 of the 5 starters left. Then their head coach starts the season and leaves in the middle of the season. Like, come on, man. Elizabeth Williams, she led the way with 23 points, 5 rebounds. Kalia Copper, 18 and 12 for Kalia. Marina Mabry, 16 points, 4 boards. And then Courtney Williams, 10 points, 5 boards, 6 assists. Also, Dana Evans had 14 points and 6 assists as well within the 90-85 victory over the Seattle Storm. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, I'm going to get one more top of the morning topic in, and then we're going to talk baseball. But this next top of the morning topic is funny. It's friendly fire, and I don't understand why it's going on. But it is. So, all right, listen. So don't go anywhere, folks. We got some good stuff coming up. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left, and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down, because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Hit hard and into left. Anderson around third, and he will score. And they've got Eloy caught in a rundown. Vaughn's going to end up at second base with 2 outs. Oh, but a snag by Diaz. High throw. And Benintendi to third, and he's going to try to score, and he will. As Noda just could not pick up the baseball. It's 2-0. That ball kicks away, and here comes Vaughn to the plate, and he'll score. Moncada will head to third. Well, that worked out.
Woo! Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC Sports Chicago. The good guys with a big win yesterday over the Oakland A's. Man. So we got a little video just real quick. Actually, there's 2 videos. I didn't realize Steve had gotten up already. This is from video in the park of the incident. Check it out. It's above the State Farm sign. It's kind of a third of the way up the stands, and you'll see a lady gets in the aisle, starts waving her hands to the usher to try and get his attention, as opposed to just running up and getting him. But Joe, this is the incident that happened on Friday at Sox Park. So that was the video, and you saw the lady in the aisle, and that's just insane, just crazy how that happened. You know, they're trying to figure out if someone had an undercover had a gun on them, an undercover cop had it in discharge, or if the bullets came from outside the stadium and landed. They're still investigating, but again, the female whose leg has the bullet lodged in it did not bring the gun in. Right? They said there was no gun residue on any of her clothing that they took when she was at the hospital. Crazy. So I just thought this was funny. This was Friday night. So so the internet wins again. So social media came up with this. For the next night. Saturday the 26th, 6 p.m. All 3,176 fans get their own White Sox Kevlar vest. Handguns not included, but readily available outside the park. The internet wins again. Again. Oh, man. So Noah Lyles just won the fastest man. U.S. is killing at the World Championships. He won a couple of different events. He won the 100 and 200, I think the 4x1. He's killing. And he had something to say about other teams, other leagues that claim that they are world champs. All right. He had something to say. Peep this. See how much validity he has.
World champion of what? The United States? You know, the thing that hurts me the most is that I have to watch the NBA Finals and they have world champion on their head. World champion of what? The United States? Don't get me wrong. I love the U.S. at times, but that ain't the world. That is not the world. We are the world. We have almost every country out here fighting, thriving, putting on their flag to show that they are represented. There ain't no flags in the NBA.
So, does he have a point? Okay, does he have a point? And I've always, it's funny. I've always thought that as well when they say world champs. And I get it. You think the NBA has the most talent, is the most talented league. I get it, but they still haven't beat all the other teams in the world, right? Especially the last 10 years or so, a lot of other teams would have something to say about it. Right? They haven't won gold all the time. In the FIBA, they haven't taken the championship all the time. There's other countries who have been able to take one here, take one there. So I get his point. And then some NBA people had a little issue with it. They had issues with it. And it's, you know what? Just let it go. Let him say what he wants to say because it's valid. But Pete, this. So here Noah Lyles talks about it. And then Kevin Durant says somebody helped his brother. And then you had other NBA players who clap back. Easy money snipers as somebody helped his brother. That's KD. And Damian Lillard. The fuck? TF. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Aaron Gordon. Whatever. I'm smoking buddy in the 200 meters. Yeah, I don't know about that, Aaron. You play basketball for a living. This guy trains to sprint for a living. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Juan on Juan says, the last time I checked, the NBA was the best competition in the world. Yeah, but it's not still. Again, we haven't won gold in every single event that we've been in the last 10 years. So just something crazy like that. Like, but why are you going at each other? Like, why? You know what I mean? There's no need for it. And if because he said what he said, if you don't agree with it, let it go. You don't have to respond. If you don't like what someone says, you can ignore it and let it go. But not today. No. You got to get your voice heard. Everyone's got to hear you. Cornelius, what are you talking about? Because if you win here in basketball or American football, which is the primary universe of these sports, you can say world champs. True. But again, how many times have we not won the gold in the FIBA, in the Olympics? Okay. So world champs, I get it. Because basically nobody else plays American football at the level of the NFL. I played professional football in Italy. Trust me, we would have been destroyed by an NFL team. All right? We would have been destroyed. Okay. But I get his point. I get his point. One of the. We do that one? Yeah, no, I got that one. Yeah, so one of the things about this, and we're talking a little baseball right now. The Cubs are in a good spot. Cubs in a real good spot. All right, they welcome the Milwaukee Brewers, who are on a tear, 8-game winning streak. 8 games. I thought for sure they'd lose one this weekend. I said, nope. Cubs didn't do themselves a favor by losing the game on Friday. They came back on Saturday and Sunday. Perfect. But now they're 4 games back. This is it hits a stretch where you get a chance to face a team that you're chasing because you're in second place. All right. And you've done pretty well in this stretch. But the team you're chasing is white hot. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games. The Brewers are. They've won their last 8 in a row. They're coming into Wrigley on fire. But the Cubs are playing really, really good baseball as well. Really good baseball as well. So if you're a Cub fan, you know what? Consider yourself extremely fortunate because 1, you are playing meaningful games this late in the season in August. Okay. And 2, your team is hot. Not as hot as the Brewers, but you're still hot. And with the pitching that you've had to this point with Cody Bellinger, would you just not pitch to that dude? Just stop pitching to him. Especially stop pitching to him when you have runners on base. I don't understand why he doesn't get the Barry Bonds treatment. They walked 3 times, I think, 2 or 3 times in his career, they walked Barry with the bases loaded. Why don't you do that to Bellinger? All right, there's runner on, 2 runners on, walk them. Get to the next guy. Do not let Cody Bellinger hurt you. Cody Bellinger is about to make a shitload of money this offseason. But according to Jeff Passan, it's not as much as I thought. Jeff Passan said he's in about the $150 million range. I'm like, really? I was thinking he'd be in a $200 million range. But let's not forget, his agent is Scott Boras. He's going to be pushing for minimum $200 million. So will the Cubs pay it and keep him and sign him, keep him here for 4, 5, 6 years? They can. They have the money, but will they do it? I think Cubs Nation would be truly, truly, truly ready if they signed him. I think they're ready for that. I think they're ready for it. I really, really do. I just think that it's a situation where they have a lot of talent. They have a lot of young talent. And you add a vet like this, a rookie of the year, a Gold Glove center fielder, a World Series champ, you add him to the mix for long term, it shows your fan base that you're about winning. It shows your fan base that you're ready to compete again real soon. Real soon. If you make the playoffs this year, come on, man. What does that tell your fan base? You make the playoffs, then you sign Cody Bellinger. It tells your fan base you're back. And you're back a lot sooner, and you're going further in the playoffs than the team on the south side, my White Sox. It speaks volumes to the fan base. The Ricketts have the money. Will they do it? We're going to find out. Because Scott Boras ain't no joke. He ain't no punk. He can have his clients going for the highest dollar available. Cody Bellinger doesn't need a World Series title. He has one. He has a Gold Glove. He has a Rookie of the Year. He has an MVP. This guy's got it all. So he can literally, if he wants, he can just go for the money. But Cody Bellinger, to me, doesn't seem like that type of guy. Cody Bellinger seems like the kind of guy who wants to win. So, I know the Cubs are going to give him a fair offer. But you know, there's going to be one team, just one crazy team out of the blue is going to give him some stupid, ridiculous amount. The team that sucks and hopes he can be the starting point to build around, and they ain't going to do shit. But there's going to be one team that's going to do that. Does he want to do that just for the money? Or does he want to come back to the Cubs and stay in an organization that is building to be relevant again for a 5 to 7 year period? Is he willing to give up some of that and make the playoffs the majority of those times, of those years? That's a good question. That's the question we're going to find out. And I know Cub fans are going to be on pins and needles at the end of the season. Whether you make the playoffs or not, I mean, let's be honest. Let's keep it a buck. You're not going to win a World Series. Okay, you're not. All right, you just don't have the pitching. Hitting? Yeah. But the pitching, you don't have it. So when the season's over, you're going to be on pins and needles after the World Series saying what is going to happen with Cody Bellinger. Because to keep him tells your fan base you're all in. Marcus Stroman probably won't pitch again. He's got broken cartilage in his ribs. It's going to take him a while. Then once he's healthy, then he's got to ramp up again. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see him, or Cub fans are going to see him, the rest of the year. And do you want him to come back? Because he's got to get ramped up. He has to throw in a month or two. You can't just say, okay, he's healthy, the cartilage is all right, or give him cortisone shots and then have him re-injure himself to make it worse so he misses part of next season. But why would you do that? You don't need him. You're not contending for a World Series. So don't worry about whether he pitches for you again this year. The Cub fans should say, hey, listen, do not pitch for us again this year. And I think that's what the organization is doing. Hey, you're not going to pitch for us again this year. All right? We'll get you in spring training. You should be 100% healthy. We can ramp you up. We can monitor you in the month of February, because they're probably going to want him to go to the facility out in Mesa at Sloan Park. They're going to want him out there to monitor him and to check on his progress, which is that's your investment. You better have him out there. You better have him out there. You better be monitoring him, because I assume he's going to pick up his option. I think it's a dual option, a club and team option. But he's going to pick it up. Now you got him. You got Tyone. You got Justin Steele. Drew Smiley. And let's not forget Kyle Hendricks. It's not a bad rotation when you had Stroman in the mix. Not a bad rotation at all. And that you can keep Bellinger. That's the key. In my opinion, that's the key. And you're going to get guys like Morel. You got to settle on a position for him. What position do you want him to play? And put him there every day. 140 games, 145 games of the year, he's there. At whatever position you want him to be at. But leave him at one position. Stop putting him at all these other positions. And it's unfortunate, as much as I hate to say it, the Cubs are a lot closer to winning the World Series than the White Sox. Cubs are probably going to make the playoffs. They could possibly win the division this year. White Sox, if it wasn't for the Kansas City Royals, we'd be dead last in our division. Hard for me to say as a diehard Sox fan, but I keep it a buck with you. I'm going to keep it a buck with you at all times. You see my shirt today? I got my Chicago staples. I got the deep dish pizza, Chicago-style hot dog, Italian beef, and, of course, my favorite, tacos. That looks like a steak taco, though. Give me a taco de pastor or carnitas. Then it'll be perfect for me. And then it'll be perfect for me. The Cubs are in a good spot, man. They're in a good spot. Cub fans be happy. Now you got Bears season kicking off in 2 weeks. At that point, you should have a much better idea where your Cubs are, because the last series of the season is against Milwaukee. I believe it's in Milwaukee. So you stay close. You got to stay within 3 games. This is why this series is so important. You can't fall back. You can't lose 2 out of 3, because then you'll go back another game, 4 games, 5 games, you'll be back. You have to stay close. So if you can get to the last series within 3 games, or even if it's 3 games, you got to play 163, no problem. That's fine too. Have it all come down come down to one game. I like that. I don't know about you guys. Do you like that? Game 163. If teams end up tied atop the division, I love it. One game, I love it. I love it. Junior. Don't tell the Fire Ross Cub fans that they are. Don't tell, dude, it's crazy. It's crazy. You get the steak tacos from Milagro? No, give me the tacos de pollo. Yeah, give me the tacos de pollo. Actually, I get the tacos de milanesa de pollo. Yeah, I'll just get the platillo. It's cheaper than getting, because tacos there are like $5, 5 something for a taco. This way, give me the platillo. They give me a couple pieces of milanesa de pollo, rice and beans. That'll run about $15. I could easily make 3 tacos, probably up to 5 tacos. That'd be $20, $25, and you save money. But I digress. And on the south side, I'll tell you what, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Yohan Moncada. I'm liking what I'm seeing with guys getting runners over. Listen, baseball is not a difficult game if you play it well. You know what? You could keep all your Babbitts and wars and this and that and all this other bullshit, all these metrics. Play solid fundamental baseball. Play solid fundamental baseball. You know, Andrew Benintendi was up yesterday. I think Yohan was in front of him. Let me double check. And Yohan was on second. And the whole thing was, where's Yohan? Was it Sheets? Yeah, so it must have been Sheets. So Sheets was up after him. You just got to get him over to third base. You have to get him over to third base, period. There was no outs, runner on second. Get him over to third base. And I was watching a few people, and they don't teach this. This is why the game is the way it is. This is why these metric jamokes are so popular. You don't teach the fundamentals. You go off numbers. Say, well, the probability of you getting him in with 3 outs from second base is greater than getting him in from third with 2. Get him on, get him over, get him in. All right. And the thing about it and why baseball has become so selfish is you don't teach kids, hey, you're up, you got to hit the ball to the right side of the field. Period. It's like, well, I don't want to give myself up. I want to get a hit or I want to get a homer. No, just get the ball to the right side of the field. Give yourself up. Get the guy to third. And this is what's called a team. Your team has to pick you up. You did this for the team to get him in scoring position. Now the next guy or the guy after him has to bring him home. But they don't teach that because you're 0 for 1 and it looks bad in your stats. But you know what? If you're a guy who can create contact and hit the ball to the right side of the field every time to get a guy over to third, you know how valuable you are? Because that run can score on a wild pitch or a pass ball. So there's so many different ways to get that runner in, but we don't teach that. It's not being taught at the levels because you want to hit the home run. You want Johnny wants to be the star. Johnny wants his name in the newspaper. He doesn't want to sacrifice for the team. And that was the issue with the White Sox. They didn't want to sacrifice. Everyone wants to hit home runs. We don't need home runs. Get them on, get them over, get them in. We're trying to hit home runs, and that's why we were the worst with runners in scoring position. Who the hell's calling me? We were the worst with runners in scoring position. We couldn't get key hits. Why? Because we're trying to hit the homer. Instead of getting them on, getting them over, getting them in. But lately, they've been playing great baseball. They've been playing great baseball. They split the series. They lost the first 2 games, won the last 2. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it. We're 4-6 in the last 10. Kind of crappy, but wait, what are you going to do? Your Moncada seems to be coming alive now. Where was this shit earlier? Where was this earlier when we needed it? But then again, maybe this is what we needed to get Kenny and Rick out of there. Maybe it's what we needed. But don't bring up Chris Getz. Don't make him the GM because it's same guy, different name. He was the he was director of the minors. Who the hell did we develop? Who the hell did we develop in the minors besides Tim Anderson and Lewis Robert? Who did we came up through our system and is up here hitting 300? Striking out 8-10 dudes a game. Who do we have that came up through our system? Nobody. Except no one beside Tim and Lou Bob. All the other people, Yohan, Eloy, those guys were traded for. So you're going to bring a guy who's in charge of our minor league system who you can't even name. Tim Anderson's the only guy that we've drafted and developed to hit over 300 since first person since Frank Thomas. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is a scathing indictment of this minor league system that we have, and you're going to bring the guy who's in charge of that as a general manager. That means he's going to be a puppet again. And who's going to be his puppet master? I don't know. Things are not looking good for my White Sox and looking good on the South Side. Then they have that. They fire Kenny and Rick. They get their ass blown out 12-4. You got people getting shot in the stadium. They're talking about moving in a retractable dome. Come on, man. It's just too much for a team that sucks. Far too much for a team that sucks. So you got me fired up. I guess it's all right because we got to take a quick break. And on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about football. You know, that gets me fired up. I'm already halfway there. Is going to join us. And I'm excited. I'm going to talk to him. We're going to talk about the roster cuts. We'll show you who they cut to this point. They got to get down to 53 at tomorrow, 4 o'clock, I want to say, 4 p.m. Central. So we're going to talk a little football with my guy Nomad on the other side of the break. So don't go anywhere, folks. Just keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
To run for 17, back he goes. Here comes Chubb. There goes the ball. Touchdown! Jones about at the right tackle. Time for Fields. Now we are accelerating at the first down. Great tackles, and he's off to the races. Oh, we got a terrific block.
For every generation, it has started with the call to serve. Discovering the purpose and the belonging earned with the title. Learning to dig deep and push through adversity together. Defending our nation and its people. It is a life of great worth and reward. But Marines are never really finished serving. Their commitment comes full circle, visible in communities across our country. This is Semper Fidelis, always faithful, always Marine, marking a path for the next generation.
So I've come up with a family emergency plan.
Great. What is it?
It's difficult to talk about, so I'm not telling you.
How will we know what to do?
You won't.
I'm so glad I won't have to remember anything.
And me too. Thanks for this, sweetie.
Talk to your kids about who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311.
This year, my mom got me the perfect bag for back to school.
These colorful binders help me stay organized.
These headphones are just what I need for studying.
These new sneakers are just what I need for the new year.
This jacket is a real must-have.
My parents got me the skateboard I wanted. It's pretty cool.
These scissors really come in handy in art class. These colored pencils, too.
These new socks, they can be a real lifesaver.
I finally got my own phone to stay in touch with my mom.
Third and long, Allen against Stevenson. He held on to it. He's had a couple of shots in the preseason. Is the back next to him. From the 16-yard line, pressure coming and a lot of space for Fields. Nice cut. He got tripped up. Fake to Foreman. Good blitz pickup. Fields has time to deliver to DJ Moore, and he breaks away. This is what he does. Big gainer, DJ Moore inside the 35. Bears in the finale against Minnesota last year. Allen nearly ran into a sack. He gets rescued on the throw outside to Andy Isabella, and he gets hit by Stroman.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Fox. Whoo! Got me fired up. It's not even wasting any more time, man. My first guest today, become a good friend. You know, he was following a couple of different programs, and he was following our network as well. And we got to talking, and he would say some shit. I'm like, that's pretty smart. Okay, I like that. And I realized this guy's a really good football mind, and I love talking with people with good football minds. Man, you can find him on Twitter at Nomad NOMAD Networking. Guys, it's welcome to Shawn and Maya. I got Nomad. Nomad, what's up, Papa? How are you?
Yo, Shawn. Hey, man, listen. One good way to start your day off wrong is talk about the Chicago White Sox this early in the morning.
Hey, I was there, man. I was ducking. I was like, oh, no. It reminded me of that commercial, the PSA we played before we came out of the break. I was like, these shoes are good for running.
Hey, what's going on, everybody, man? Your family is becoming my family over there on our network, man. So I love to see all the guys here in the chat, man. Love you guys,
man. So cuts, man. I was surprised with some of the names that had come out. Well, Gabe Hoy, the kid from Pitt, he's been injured at Pitt a lot. Although he does have a nasty side, which is why I liked him. All right, but he got hurt again this weekend, so he's gone. But the biggest name were PJ Walker, who they still owe $2 million to, so that's why they cut him, and Alex Leatherwood. I was surprised. I thought Alex Leatherwood played well in the preseason. I thought he would be, especially with the depth being an issue, guys be going out. I thought he would be a guy who they would keep, but apparently he's not. Your thoughts on the and I'll put this up as well. Your thoughts on the guys that they cut, especially Leatherwood and PJ Walker.
Yeah, we'll get right into those guys, but there have been about 4 more moves since. I know. But Leatherwood was a huge surprise. You know, it was really a huge surprise, man, because he was a guy that I, comparing the tape from last year to now, I mean, you're talking about a jump.
Yeah, big jump.
Big time jump, man. I mean, it was impressive how Chris Morgan was able to basically break him down to his basic fundamentals and kind of rebuild the structure of how his pass protection, which is stellar. I don't think he gave up a pressure in one-on-ones at all. That's a stat that's out there. But however, looking at the tape closely, you can see where he had some shortcomings in the run blocking and getting where he needs to be on the screen game. However, Shawn, there's my producer Chris last night brought up an interesting way of thinking about his cut. Now, there's a world where you keep Tevin Jenkins on the roster, who's not going to probably be available to you in the first 4 games or so. You keep him on the roster, and right after your 53 is established, maybe you go re-sign Alex Leatherwood. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, and he's got to go through waivers though. I mean, because you still owe him $3 million, $4 million, I believe, from his rookie deal. Because that's all guaranteed, so he's still getting that. So if he goes through waivers, you might not have. I mean, I don't know if you have to pay him that if he clears waivers, or maybe you do. But maybe they want to say. I mean, they let him go early, so see if he can kind of latch on with another team. But no one's going to take that contract, especially after two teams had given up on him. So I liked him. I liked him a lot. I don't know. I was very surprised by that cut. PJ Walker, I wasn't as surprised. I was a little bit surprised because I thought they would keep a veteran, and really not give that number 2 job to a rookie, Division II rookie. But the kids showed moxie, man. The kids showed, the kids had 17,000 yards in 4 years of playing, dude. That's a lot of yards. That's a lot of dropbacks. That's a lot of attempts. And like he said, man, there's really no situation I haven't been in. So that's crazy, dude. I'm rooting for him. The kid, I like the kid. He's got a little swag about him, dude. His release is phenomenal. I watched one play where he didn't even step. He just flicked his hips, I forgot who the pass was to. Flicked the hips, accurate like a son of a gun. I'm like, okay, this kid it looks like he's gonna be QB2.
The guy has some really nice traits about him. I do like his short game accuracy, the way that ball comes out in short areas. Really nice looking stuff, man. What's interesting about him, I definitely think he's warranted a spot on the roster. It's going to be interesting to see if they decide to still go out and get another veteran, because that's really not ideal to have a rookie back up your starter like that. I think there's a world where there's probably a quarterback out there that they've got their eyes on. Maybe they want to bring him in. I don't know if Peterman is a guy. I don't know, but it is not ideal to have a rookie back up your starting quarterback who is only in his second year of a system. So, but PJ Walker, man, you can't undo those first 2 games in the season, man. I know he's a better quarterback than what he put on display out there. And it's just unfortunate, man, but it's a tale of the tape, man. You got one guy that's really out here performing, another guy who struggled the first couple of preseason games. And it goes way back into camp and practices, man. Every day there were reports coming out. PJ is wildly inaccurate. He's dirting balls. He's overthrowing guys and all that kind of stuff. So he had to really perform at a high level in these games or else, and end up being what or else. But if you want to hear some of these new cuts, man, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Let me know who else.
It's mostly O-lineman. It's Logan Stenberg, who we just grabbed not too long ago. Kellen Deesh. You already know about Gabe Huey.
Yeah, Deesh had like 3 or 4 penalties. Like, come on, dude. I don't need to be hearing your name because of a penalty, Papa.
Those short arms came back to bite him, man. At tackle, I don't think the best move for him was tackle. I saw him not be able to reach rushers, and it was obvious on film. But I thought if they ever wanted to keep developing him, they were going to have to kick him inside. His arms are just too short for what they need him to do. But Bobby Haskins is gone. Also, Bravion Roy, the D tackle that we just brought, he's gone. And you want to hear some not so good news? You get brace for this. I don't know how tapped in you are with Brad Spielberger. Are you tapped in with him?
Yeah.
Okay, you might want to tap in with him, because he's saying that Mooney's a possible trade candidate.
Wow.
And in reality, I follow Brad Spielberger. He doesn't just say stuff. You know what I mean? He's one of those, to me, he's a qualified source in my eyes to somebody you ought to pay attention to. So, guys, if you haven't been following him, you probably should.
Yeah, I just checked it out 55 minutes ago. He tweeted it. Surprise trade candidates include Bears wide receiver Darnell Mooney and Lions edge rusher James Houston IV. Wow.
How you feel about that?
Damn. I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, what would you trade him for? You know what I mean? I mean, there's in Tuesday you're going to have a buffet of whatever it is that you're short, whether it's offensive lineman, defensive lineman, edge rushers, there's going to be tons of cap casualties. So why would you trade? You know what I mean? I don't understand. To me, that doesn't make a lot of sense to trade him, because you can get whatever you want come Tuesday, 4:00. It's a free for all. It's like a shotgun at a golf cart. You just get to your hole. Just go, guy. Go get a player. You get a player. You get a player. We all get a player. And to make a trade for a guy that you think is going to be a major contributor doesn't make sense to me.
If we are to lend any credibility to that, which I will give Brad Spielberger credit, you got to be thinking cap. Not cap, but just his contract situation coming up. And the truth is, Poles was always going to have to make a tough decision or two in regards to that, or who to sign moving forward, how he's planning on going about, getting that money out to who. It was always going to be somebody. I don't think anybody expected it to be Mooney. And so it's not something that's happened already. It's just something. He's a subject of it. They're fishing probably to see what they can get for him. But wow, never saw that coming. The connection he and Justin has has been great. Yep. And so it was a shocker. I didn't expect to see that this morning.
I didn't either. It's interesting news. Talk to me about the game. How did you like it? Talk to me. Obviously the focal point, Justin Fields. How did you like his performance on Saturday? And where do you think he needs to improve?
I thought it was always going to be something vanilla they asked him to do. I don't put very much emphasis in a preseason game. I know it's preseason, man. It really doesn't matter, but it matters more for the younger guys than it does someone like Justin. You would have liked to see him have a better look out there, but it didn't bother me any that it was a little clunky for him out there, but you would expect that because so many players are in and out of camp right now. It's like we haven't seen the whole 11 on offense and the whole 11 on defense together. So I think that kind of came back to haunt him, just guys in and out of the lineup. But I'm not at all worried about Justin. Justin's going to be fine, man. It's just a matter of having time on task with everybody he needs out there with him. Man. No Claypool, no Valus. Who else was out?
The guards. I mean, their O-line. So you had Darnell Wright was out. You had Tevin Jenkins obviously was out. Whitehair was at center. Then they had Kramer was out. So they had Lucas Patrick was out. So they had Kramer, and then he got hurt, and then just a whole bunch of people were all jacked up on an offensive line. Which is why on that hit, and we got that, man, we saw this. As soon as I saw this, I'm like, oh shit, oh hell no. Yeah. Boop.
Get him out of there.
Gotta go.
Get him out now. You got to come out right now. You can't. That kind of crap, man. I don't really like seeing starters playing in preseason games at all, man. It's just too much to lose. I like saving my guys for the regular season. There are reasons to play a guy in preseason, if they're not looking very sharp in camp, or they just need to gel, which apparently they still need to do a little bit of that. I just don't like it, man. Shawn, you're a football player just like I am, man. You know what's at risk every time you step on a blade of grass out there. Everything is at risk, man. So I just really hate seeing starters, man.
At that level, I believe you. It's a different game. It's a different mentality because they're literally a commodity. And do you want your commodity out there? And one, you need them out there to get the work in, because practice is no such. And that's why I like the joint practices that they had last week with the Colts. Even though they got a little chippy, Justin got that almost got rolled up on to do the D tackle, hit him in the below the knee, and then he got hit one time on a screen pass. But that's 2 good days of work, 2 good days of the intensity being 100%. Because someone argued with me like, well, it's not a game. I'm like, look, dude, I said that sounds like someone who's never been in a scrimmage. I'm like, because the scrimmage is the same intensity as a game, because you're playing somebody else. You're playing somebody else. They're fighting for a job. You're fighting to do well. I said the intensity is just there. You're just not in your in your shiny, clean uniforms and in front of 80,000 people. But the intensity, it's pretty much damn the same if it's a scrimmage. If it's a inter-squad scrimmage, you know what I mean. And so I was okay with that. But yeah, I feel you. And at 91, there was another one. Justin ran and some dude had his leg, and Justin did my maneuver. 1 tug, 2 tugs, and drop. And that 91 dude came flying right over him, dude. Right over him. And he knows, because, man, believe you me, that first time I got my bell rung. I was trying to pull. I was like third time or fourth yank I was trying to pull. Some big defensive tackle came and knocked, dude. I knew now that I think about it, I had to have a concussion. You know, you get the white stars and shit like that. Boom. He cleaned my clock.
Yeah,
so at that point, it's 1 tug, 2 tug, drop. That's it.
Hey, Shawn, so they just made another cut. This is another surprise to me because he was a starter with Philly last year, linebacker Davion Taylor. I thought, I
thought he'd be a nice backup rotational piece.
Yeah, man. I think
or special teamer, shit.
Yeah, maybe they really like Baskerville and want to develop him, man. Maybe that's all about him and his development. But he was a starter last year in Philly, right next to T.J. Edwards. So, wow, that's really surprising to me. Maybe things go on behind the scenes, where a guy feels like he can be a starter and maybe doesn't want to stay with the team because he wants to compete for a starting job somewhere else. Who knows, man? But I really like having him here in this locker room.
And especially since Noah Sewell went out with a groin injury, and we don't know how long that's going to take. And you and I and most people here know that a groin is like a hammy, like it can linger for a long time, and to have a depth piece like that, it's surprising. But then again, like you said, maybe he said, hey, you know what? If I'm not going to get a starting job, I want to go somewhere else. And speaking of that, give me your thoughts on Gibson. Travis Gibson asked for a trade. He was granted permission to seek a trade. Your thoughts? And then he goes and gets a sack.
Right. Hey, first of all, you'll never hear me poo-poo Travis Gibson. Travis Gibson's a hell of a football player. I've always had doubts about whether he's the right fit in a four-down front. Yeah. I felt like maybe he's looking to try to get back into a 3-4, which is probably the best thing for him. But I as a football player, effort, man, he gave Chicago everything he had. He deserves a certain level of respect from us because he was dependable and he played his ass off. And so I wish whatever happens with him, I definitely wish him the best and we'll be rooting for him. But I think the situation with him, it's all about fit. Maybe Travis, still feels some kind of way about finding himself on the lower end of the echelon in his group room after being the starter. In anybody's world, that's gonna bother you a little bit. Maybe that conversation was being had in the first place, and it's just now getting to us. But yeah, man, maybe we can do better and find another player at edge. Maybe he's better in a 3-4.
Yeah, but to me, it's that, and it's different because I didn't play in the NFL at the NFL level. But like to me, I'd have been like, look, let me show you. Like, you know what? If I didn't like the way you're treating me, you know what? I want to make it so you have no choice but to play me. No choice. You know what I mean? Like and it's easy to go somewhere else. But again, I didn't play at that multi-million-dollar level. So, it's when dollars and cents are involved, you may just want to say, hey, listen, let me just get to a spot that's better, that fits me, that I fit in a system that fits me, so I can really maximize my potential, because it's about maximizing your potential, and because you get paid off that. So it's kind of like the get off my lawn type of me saying you should have stayed, but then the realist in me is like, yeah, dog, if you can go somewhere else and you really show out, okay, in a better system or a different system, go make your money. So, and we know it's all about system, because we know if Patrick Mahomes came here instead of Mitch, he wouldn't be the Patrick Mahomes he is today. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about fit and the system that you get in. So maybe a 3-4 will suit him best, and at least get him another 3 or 4 years, 5 years in the league somewhere. And that should be more than enough to take care of him and his family for a few generations.
You know what the conversation was with Travis Gibson over on our network? It was after that first game when he came out with his hair on fire after that chart was released. Man, I was questioning. I was just like, wow. He played like I had never seen Travis Gibson play. It's like he stretched it to the limit, man. And my question was, is he going to be able to keep up that kind of intensity, throughout? And you saw a sharp difference the next game versus that first game, and I was like, okay, yeah, there it is right there. It's like you can't play like that like for 17 games, dude. That was he was upset and he played like it. And so being able to maintain that in the NFL through 17 games, good luck doing that. But respect to him, man. I really do salute Travis Gibson, man. I think he's a hell of a football player. He just may not be the best fit for us.
Yeah. Talk to me about this running back. I've been reading that possible, Deontay Foreman might be a guy that they unload or they cut or they trade. Your thoughts on the running back room and possibly not having, Deontay Foreman, because they're going to keep Khalil Herbert and they're damn sure keeping Roschon Johnson. Your thoughts on?
Shawn, I came away with more questions about Khalil Herbert. I don't think there's a chance in hell they're trading Deontay Foreman. He looks like the better back to me. Of the two, yeah. I think there's more questions. I came away from that game with more on my mind about where Khalil Herbert stands than I do about Deontay Foreman. Really, I did, man. And I'm just being honest about it. I like Khalil Herbert. I always felt the minute they signed him, you tail of the tape is always on tape, man. You compare the tape. He is a better all-around back, and he's exactly what Eberflus would want to take the air out of the stadium late in the game. You hand it to that joker right there, man. I'm telling you, you're going to have a hard day if you're not in shape, man. And they just keep handing this to this guy, and they're just trying to protect the lead, man. He will take the air out of the stadium. I think he's the back. He's going to end up being the back when the smoke clears. And Khalil Herbert, it's going to be question marks behind. He makes some big runs here and there, but to be able to sustain you.
He's not a workhorse type deal. Yeah. He's not a workhorse, and that's what you need, especially when it's so overlooked. When you have a lead, you can't just keep throwing the ball. You got to take the air out of the ball and keep handing that joker off, and you need a running back who gets lathered up. The more carries you give him, the more fired up and more productive he gets because he's a physical back, a.k.a. Deontay Foreman, a.k.a. Roschon Johnson, But I mean, to his defense, Khalil Herbert, you keep giving him the ball and he pops one, he's taking it for a big one, if not a house call.
Yeah. I mean, he's got that element to his game, man. He can take one, go from 0 to 60 real quick. Mm-hmm. But I've seen Deontay Foreman on tape enough times.
Oh, yeah.
The will from a defense, man. They just flat out didn't want no parts of it, man. I mean, late in the game when they're tired, people got hands on their hips and they're sucking wind. They're constantly feeding it to this dude, man. He will take your spirit away, man. And I think Eberflus being that blue collar type of having that blue collar type of mentality and the kind of coach he is, I think he's perfect in spirit for what Eberflus wants to do.
Before we let you go, let me ask you one last question, man. I appreciate you coming on, man. It's great having you. And, we're going to have you back again. I love our football talks.
Anytime, man.
Over under. So last year they signed 6 free agents or 6 people off who got cut after their final cuts. How many do you think they're going to sign this year? Because for those who don't know, there's no gradual cut anymore. It's not 2 cuts to the final. It's 1. So tomorrow at 4:00, it's over. I mean, it's you have to get down to 53. So there's going to be a lot of people who are getting cut tomorrow. How many players do you think the Bears are going to sign, and what positions? O-line, D-line, edge, running back, quarterback, wide receiver. What position do you think?
We were having that conversation last night on the show, and to me, I think they're going to sign 10 or better off the wire. Could be some trades that could be happening right now, some trade talks. We already got a little piece of that news, but yeah, I think about 10. The positions that I would be looking for them to do something about is definitely depth on the O-line. We may need to do something about the center position. We got 2 guys that are hurt all the time, and then Doug Kramer just went down. So unless they're planning on giving Dieter a bump in status, then we need to start thinking about making a move for a center. That and what was apparent to me on film was we need and I think that's why they brought Bravion Roy in. I think we need some depth at one. We need a meat grinder. We need a guy to help the run fits or the gap containment was bad looking in that last game. And I think they need a big guy to kind of shore up the defense a little bit. I like the pieces that we have. The depth at one is a question for me. And I don't know, maybe a safety. I'm not sure, but yeah, those are the ones that in particular stick out to me.
Because the Rams have a guy, Brian Allen, that is just about to lose his job to Coleman Shelton. And Brian Allen's a Hinsdale native, so he's a local kid. Pass pro okay. His run blocking is fierce. His run blocking is solid. He has that nasty demeanor to him, but he would probably be available to a trade. I think the Rams are going to keep him as a backup unless someone offers something to him. He could be someone that we go after because he's very good at the zone blocking scheme, which is perfect for this off. That is who I would see maybe they try and go after. I would say about 6 to 8. You said 10. I say 6 to 8 people that they sign after cuts. And I hope it's guys who can help. I mean, even though they picked up 6 last year, there's really only one. There's one guy left from those 6. The other guys never they didn't stick. So we'll see, man. It's going to be interesting on Tuesday. There's a lot of work going on in all 32 organizations right now, trying to see who's going to get cut, who they need. So it's going to be the wild, wild west come tomorrow, 4:00, and I just can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Yes, it is, man. There's going to be so much activity today, just today alone, man. They've got to make 20-something more cuts, so you guys better keep your Twitter refreshed, man. It's going to be a busy day, and the next today and tomorrow, man. The next 48 hours is going to be crazy.
Yep. Hey, Nomad, great stuff up. I appreciate it. Do me a favor, though. Let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
You can find me on Twitter at Nomad Networking, and we're all over the place. You can catch us on YouTube. The Nomad Network streams on YouTube. We do audio pods on Podbean, and they blast it everywhere to all the different sources. We're in so many places, I don't know where the hell we at, man. We everywhere. But if you want to find the Nomad Network, it's not hard to find, man. We need you guys. Keep bringing it to the show, man, and supporting us and giving us solidarity, man. We love you guys, man.
Bro, I appreciate it, and we'll be in touch. I'll give you a buzz this week. We'll chat.
Sure enough, man. Shawn, appreciate you for having me on.
Hey, no problem. Guys, that's Nomad from Nomad Network talking Bears football with your boy. I'm fired up, man. I love talking football with people who know how to talk football. And it's, there's some people who just talk it at a higher level because we played it at a higher level, all right? Or we coached, and it's just different. It's great. And good, really good football mind. Really good football mind. Make sure you follow him. Make sure you go over there. And in case you're wondering, yes, that's his thing. It's an avatar. He just doesn't want and you know what? It works. It works for him. But listen, let's take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to continue with football talk. And our guy, he's making moves. He's on Bleacher Report now. I was like, whoa, what is Lauren doing over there? I like it. Our man from the Lockdown Bears podcast, Lauren Cox, coming up next. So keep it locked right here, folks. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Off the fake. Fields against the grain. Finds Jesse James. Field. With time. Delivers down the field. And Converse. Still running. Fake one way. Fields stumbling. Trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown.
911, operator 901. Where's the emergency?
127 Brynmere.
Okay, what's going on there?
I'd like to order a pizza for delivery.
Ma'am, you've reached 911. This is an emergency line.
Large with half pepperoni, half mushroom.
You know you've called 911. This is an emergency line.
How long it'll be?
Okay, ma'am, is everything okay over there? Do you have an emergency or not?
Yes.
And you're unable to talk because...
Right.
Is there someone in the room with you? Just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, it looks like I have an officer about a mile from your location. Are there any weapons in your house?
No.
Can you stay on the phone with me?
No. See you soon. Thank you.
Short approach here. Try to keep it shy of the end zone. You're going to see a lot of kickers practice that a lot more this year. Good blocking on the perimeter, and that opens it up for Tyler Scott, and it was the kicker, Tyler Bass. And how he worked during the week. And here he goes. Tyson Bagent with a smart run, a smart slide, and a little bit. Continues to test himself all the time when he's off the field in downtown. On the move, Tyson Bagent does it again. Another rushing touchdown for the rookie from Martinsburg, West Virginia. Earn the trust of this coaching staff. 3rd and 4, and a ball is loose. Sewell's got it. It was knocked away by Trevis Gibson.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of Fox. Whew. I'm excited. So let's get right to it. Have more Bear talk. We're going overtime, man. We're ODing on Bears talk. My next guest is a good friend of the program. He's been rocking with us for a few years now. He is the host of the Locked On Bears podcast. You can find him on Twitter at Cox Sports One, like Fox Sports One, but with a C. Guys, let's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, Lauren Cox. Lauren, what's up, Baba? Good morning. Uh-oh. I can't hear you.
It'd help if I turned my microphone on. Huh?
Ah, there you go.
Thanks for having me on Black Monday, a nice dark day in the league. But hey, we'll have.
It is. There's a lot of people. We just put up a list of some of the Bears that were cut, and there were some more already today. But here's the ones that went out. It was Aaron Cruikshank, Holmes. The ones you're kind of surprised with PJ Walker and Alex Leatherwood. Give me your thoughts on those two. On the quarterback, who we still owe $2 million to, and Alex Leatherwood, who we still owe $3 million or $4 million to Alex because of his rookie contract.
Yeah, might be 4 or 5 for Alex. It was a first round pick contract there. Yeah, Leatherwood was unsurprising to me because he played really poorly all preseason and really didn't look like he had made a ton of progress from the year before. Like, I thought maybe they could hold on to him because you still wanted to try and develop him, but when you got all these injuries at offensive line, I don't think you can waste roster spots on just guys that you're hoping will eventually get better. I think they need guys who are ready to play right now just in case, because no one's healthy. PJ Walker for me was the bigger surprise. I certainly felt like Tyson Bagent was the better quarterback in the preseason, but I thought they'd just keep both. I thought, why not have the veteran backup and the young backup and keep 3 quarterbacks throughout the season? The league just changed the rules this year so that you can have a 3rd quarterback active on game day, but not count towards your game day roster limit. So you can be like your 46th active player. So I figured the Bears would keep 3 quarterbacks, and why not have both as an option there where, if you're in a real pickle and you need a veteran to come in and stabilize things, maybe that's Walker. But if you need a quarterback to start a few extra games, for whatever reason, it's a longer term injury, put Bagent out there and see what he can do. But instead, I think they were trying to throw PJ Walker a bone here by saying, listen, you're not going to be our number 2 quarterback this year, so let's give you an opportunity to go somewhere where you might get to be the number 2, and maybe an injury gets you on the field and you can extend your career, as opposed to like trying to hold on to him as a number 3 and just kind of let him go on to another opportunity for his sake, not because the Bears didn't see value in keeping him, but just wanted to help him out.
And they could take that $2 million off our hands if they pick you up. Let's not forget about that factor as well. So I just had another guest on right before you talking Bears. So I'm going to hit you with the same question that I asked him. Last year, the Bears signed 6 people after cut day. Okay. What's your thought? What's your over under on guys that they sign, and what positions do you think they address? Because there's going to be all types, every single one: edge rusher, O-line, D-line, wide receiver, quarterback, DB, whatever you need, it's going to be out there. There are going to be some surprise names on that list. How many do you think the Bears signed this year, and what positions do you think they address?
Yeah, I certainly think it'll be less than last year. I mean, 6 was a lot. They turned over like 1/10 of their 53-man roster with just waiver signings. And I think last year they were in a better position to bring those guys on and be patient with them because they were a young team in general and just trying to develop guys. I think this year, they want to hit the ground running a little bit sooner and roll with the guys that already know the system and are ready to go here. So, I mean, I still think they're going to claim some. They had the first spot in the waiver claim. They're definitely going to take advantage of that and grab a handful of guys here. I mean, the number, it's hard to set it over under, but I'm thinking like 2 or 3 maybe, but not quite 6, maybe as many as 4, but as few as 2, somewhere in that kind of range is what feels good to me. particularly, I would expect linebacker to be the first spot that jumps out, just with, Dylan Cole being injured all preseason. Noah Sewell just gets hurt in the last preseason game. And then, you've got guys like Michael Walker, who brought over from the Falcons, but I was kind of unimpressed with him in the preseason. They turned over the bottom of that linebacker depth chart a bunch throughout training camp with guys coming in late. I know they already waived Davion Taylor today, so I would expect them to add a backup linebacker in a spot like that. Certainly the other big one for me will be the offensive line, because we just don't know who's actually healthy or how injured they are. When, you had 2 starters ready to go against the Buffalo Bills, so we don't know exactly when Nate Davis will be back, if he's good for week 1, Darnell Wright, Lucas Patrick. We're pretty sure Tevin Jenkins won't be, but beyond that, we don't know who's healthy on this team besides Larry Borum as the backup. So wouldn't surprise me if they brought in another guard or center type guy for the interior, because I think they like Borum as the backup there. Those 2 are the big ones for me where I think we'll see a change. Maybe cornerback as well, just because Josh Blackwell's been hurt and some of the other guys rotating at the bottom have been a little bit uninspiring there. But for me, linebacker and O-line are the 2 big ones.
Okay, that makes sense. What about a trade? We talked about with the previous guest, Brian Allen is a trade candidate with the Rams. He's losing his job over there. Could that be something that the Bears look, since we've got a couple of centers who are out, and even Doug Kramer had an issue with his hand, I believe. Was it his hand that he went out with in the game? So now, you got pretty much 3 centers that are out. You think that's an area that we address as well, specifically, I should say, is the center position?
I would be surprised if center came via trade, only because I think that's a position where it's a lot harder to take someone from outside of the offense and plug them in right away and expect them to know all the calls and pick everything up and really be able to lead the middle of that team. Like, I think we've seen them we've seen them keep extra centers on the roster for a reason. And even like throughout last season, when Lucas Patrick gets hurt and Sam Mustipher is not good, like they never went outside of the organization to go add centers. It was always, call up Dieter Iceland or somebody else from the practice squad. So, it wouldn't surprise me if perhaps they claim somebody but keep them as a backup for now, and takes a long time to kind of get them up to speed. But it's hard to just plug and play a brand new center from outside the organization. I think that's why it's been Whitehair and Patrick and Kramer and Iceland. And then they had an undrafted free agent this year as well, Josh Lugg, who I don't think is going to make the team or anything, but they kept like 5 centers throughout this whole process so they can feel good about the guys they have there and add more pieces at guard and tackle, where it's a little bit easier to plug and play.
Talk about the offense. We lost 24-21 on Saturday. Give me your assessment of the offense, the defense. How do you think Justin Fields look? And if you thought he looked great, cool. If you didn't think he looked great, then he needs a lot to work on. Are you concerned that he didn't? If you felt that he didn't look great, are you concerned that he didn't look great?
Yeah, I think with Fields, I was hoping to see more signs of growth. It was only 6 pass attempts, right? This is not like a definitive, he didn't get any better or anything. There were just a couple of moments in the preseason game that looked a lot like they did last season. And I was hoping for, a little bit more visible progress in that area. But again, they weren't game planning against the Buffalo Bills. They weren't they certainly weren't healthy like anywhere on this offense. And so I'm not like concerned that this is a sign that, they're doomed or he's not going to get better or whatever. But like, there were a couple plays when the pocket was clean and he still scrambled out of it too early. And I'd like to see him hang in there and a little bit longer and wait for things to develop downfield. And then there was also that, that first incompletion to Cole Kmet that he threw at his feet. Like, it's got to be a quicker pass. It still wasn't quick enough. He was late throwing that pass. You can see him in the pocket there. Like, he does one of those, like, you pat the ball before you wind up and throw, where it's that extra, like, half second of hesitancy before he winds up and delivers that throw, where if he gets that out a second earlier, Cole Kmet's a lot more open. And it's just like, that's what I want to see progress from Fields. And it wasn't quite there yet against the Buffalo Bills. It doesn't mean it's not still coming. I also think the pocket presence thing is particularly striking when you compare it to Tyson Bagent, who is just so smooth in the pocket. He knows how long to stay, where he can stay. He took a couple sacks that maybe he shouldn't have, but for the most part, across the preseason, we've seen Bagent be really good at stepping up when the tackles are beat, stay in the pocket to the last minute, and then escape out from there. And that's been really impressive for me. I thought Bagent was a lot better than his box score suggested. And when you take away the drop touchdown pass, there were 2 other completions that receivers couldn't hold on to. Like, I thought he played a pretty stellar game despite finishing like 7 of 14 for 29 yards and an interception, whatever it ended up being. It was not a good box score, but I thought he played a lot better than that looked.
Yeah, I agree. And I like Bagent. But let's not forget he was still playing against guys who aren't going to be on a team.
For
While
sure.
Fields was still playing against mostly guys who will be on the roster. But it is not to take away from Tyson Badgett. You can't determine who he's facing, who he's going against, and who he went against. He looked good. I'm a big fan of his. I think a lot of Bears fans are. You got some knuckleheads saying he's QB2 and he should be QB1 if Justin doesn't play well. It's like, hold your horses, buddy. Just relax. People just say dumb shit like that. It's like, that's how I could never talk football with you if you utter something like that. Like, he should be QB1. Like, hold on, player. I'm not saying he can't be developed. I like this kid. The kid's, over 17,000 yards. Come on, man. That's 17,000 yards in 2,400 pass attempts. Are you kidding me? That's 600 pass attempts a year. So when he would talk to me about that and how that transfers into him being smooth, how that transfers into him not being a deer in headlights, how that transfers him into being just playing football and not necessarily worrying about the speed.
Yeah, I think there's a stark contrast here with, like, as the Trey Lance situation has played out on the exact opposite end of the spectrum, you can kind of see the difference between a quarterback who has played a ton and a quarterback who has hardly played. There's no substitute for experience to just kind of know that you've done that, you've dropped back to pass literally like thousands of times. You know what I mean? Like, so that you've done those same 3-step, 5-step, 7-step drops over and over and over and over again, to where it's just completely second nature to you. You don't have to think about it. Okay, do I put my feet here? Do I, or, when you wind up to throw and you've read coverages thousands of times. So you've seen what a cover 2 looks like, what a cover 4 looks like, what a cover 3 looks like, not just a couple hundred times, but thousands. You've seen so many variations. Like, certainly I'm sure there are things that NFL defensive coordinators are going to throw at him that Division II defensive coordinators did not. There's a level of quality that is different. Like, the experience, that much experience at the D2 level is not exist the same as that much experience at the NFL level, but it puts him so much farther ahead than quarterbacks that just haven't seen some of the basic stuff, because NFL teams are going to still do a lot of the basic stuff too. It's not all crazy complicated trickery to try and fool quarterbacks. Like, sometimes they're just in a standard cover 2 dropping back, and if he's seen that literally 1,000 times, not just metaphorically 1,000 times or exaggeration, he's literally seen that 1,000 times. He knows, okay, when that safety's there, I read this, that means I throw this route. And like, that process in your brain is just so much faster. Just like with anything you do, the more you do it, the quicker you get at doing it. And he's got a lot of that experience that is definitely not meaningless at Division II level.
Guys, we're joined by Lauren Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast, talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Yeah, it didn't. That first game he came out, I'm like, wow, this is not too big for him at all. I was at the game against who was the first game against?
Tennessee
Titans. Yeah, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, I'm liking this kid." I'm liking this kid, and then I really did some more research on him, and like, holy sheesh, when I saw the amount of pass attempts, the most passing yards in Division II, the most touchdowns in all divisions of college, 159. I'm like, holy cow, like that's a lot. I mean, even though it was against Division II, it's still a lot of yards, it's still a lot of touchdowns. That's still an accomplishment, a feat that you have to look at. And when you go, the rule number 1, when you get a guy in 1AA or 2 or 3, and you look at him and consider him for the NFL, the first and foremost question you have to ask yourself is, does he dominate his level? And I think unequivocally, you can say he dominated the Division II level, winning the Ross Trophy, was it? Basically, the Heisman, the Harlan stuff. Anyway, the Heisman of Division II, he won it, and with all those numbers, it was good. Talk to me about the defense, though. Talk to me about the defense. Are you okay with it? Are you liking the youngsters? You like the D line? Where do you think we need? Because Yannick Ngakoue didn't play much. All right, he had one pressure. He made not really a pressure, but he made a quarterback step up. But talk to me about this D line, because that's, to me, where I'm most concerned about this defense.
Yeah, I thought even in just like the handful of snaps that Yannick Ngakoue played, you could see the impact. Like, there was a play where it was a completed pass in the sort of the right flat, and Ngakoue sprinted over there, and I don't think he helped make the tackle, but as they were bringing the receiver down, Ngakoue runs into the screen. Like, that guy is playing hard and hustling in a preseason game of all times. He's also there was a couple plays where even in the running game where he definitely does.
Yeah.
Those, but there was one where he took on the tight end, shoved him out of the way, and was there to help try and make the tackle in the backfield or right around the line of scrimmage. Like he was getting involved there. And even as a pass rusher, a lot of double teams in that game. They left one-on-ones for literally everybody else. Like he's exactly as advertised in that way. Like he's going to make everybody else's job that much easier. And it's on those guys to try and step up and actually do something with it. We saw Justin Jones do a little. I thought Andrew Billings did a little, and we still haven't seen DeMarcus Walker as the opposite to him. So I think we haven't gotten to see the full potential of this defensive line just yet. Still concerned about it. I mean, I think Pickens and Dexter, the backup defensive tackles, still very inconsistent. Like they'll make a big play here and they'll look really impressive in one play, and then the next play they'll get driven 5 yards back. And it's just like, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. It's going to be a rookie roller coaster, I think, with those two guys, to where, I like the idea of sort of like shifting them where, you're not putting the two, like in the preseason, it was the two rookies together the whole time versus the two veterans together the whole time.
Right.
I'd sort of alternate that to not have two rookies. If you're going to bring in one of the rookies, then leave the other one on the bench and try not to have too many snaps where both of them are out there. So at least you can feel some consistency in there. But I think Ngakoue will be huge. I think Walker will be a big addition when he does play for this team. And hopefully a guy like Dominique Robinson or maybe Rasheem Green can step up and make some plays. But I still think we're looking for a lot of hope on that defensive line right now because there's not a lot of proven.
What about the linebackers? We got some injuries there. Noah Sewell was the latest one. Tremaine Edmonds was back. Are you worried about that? Because I was talking before the game, like they just upgraded that to a legit linebacking core. Legit. All right. Because even though it was Sanborn, you're like, okay, well, he was undrafted free agent, the whole nine. Now you got two legit linebackers. Are you concerned about their injuries, the little ticky-tack things, or are you like, nah, they'll be fine?
I'm certainly not super concerned about like Edwards and Edmonds injuries. The backups I'm definitely concerned about here. Like if you look over the course of Edmonds and Edwards' careers, like, yeah, most seasons they miss each like a game or two. So somebody's going to have to come in there and play for them. Like I'm not worried about them missing big chunks of time, but it's the NFL. Everybody gets banged up nowadays. Yep. Rarely do you get guys who are on the field for literally every single snap over the course of a season.
Unless you're Braxton Jones.
Braxton Jones so far. He's been the Iron Man, man. That's great to see. But like right now, if you do have an injury at linebacker, who's coming in? Because the backup Dylan Cole that they signed was injured all preseason. We don't know how healthy he is. Noah Sewell just got hurt and is also a 5th-round rookie, which is tough to ask him to come in and start as a in his first season. And then there's Michael Walker, I guess, who was a starter for the Falcons last season, but there's a reason they cut him, and I didn't think he was particularly strong this preseason. And he just started learning this defense 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago. So I don't know if you want to throw him into a starting lineup if you needed to just yet. So maybe the undrafted free agent Micah Baskerville, but you're going to trust a UDFA to step into that role. So to me, like that spot feels very uneasy right now, largely due to injuries, but also why I think it's a prime position for a waiver claim here at the 53-man roster deadline.
You're okay. You don't think Sanborn's a guy that could step in, even though despite his success from last year, or I'm upset. Not upset. I was bummed about the Sewell injury because I like him. I like this kid a lot. He's a guy that's got a nose for the ball. He's just always around. And I've coached. I played with a few guys like that, and I've coached a few guys like that. They're just always around the God blessed ball. And they make shit happen when they're around the ball, and I love it. So I was a little bummed, but I think Jack Sanborn, I like him. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got a lot to fight for, and I'm okay if he has to step in because he played well last year. Now he's in the same system again for the second year in a row, which makes him more comfortable. So I definitely don't have a problem putting him in at the mic because he did one hell of a job last year, and believe me, we had no offensive or defensive line help for him last year at all. It was just read, react, and he just read and reacted faster than oftentimes the offensive line.
Yeah, I didn't mean to leave him out. I think of him as Sam. So he's one of the starters. Like, so if he gets hurt, include him in the conversation with Edwards and Edmonds. Like, agreed too that if either TJ or Tremaine gets hurt, you bump Sanborn over. But then you got to bump somebody else in base defense to take over that Sam spot. And I just don't. Outside of the 3 starters, I'm not in love with the options behind them, largely due to injuries. But when healthy, yeah, Sewell and Cole, like I feel pretty good if you have to play those guys. But we don't know exactly when they will be available at this point. So TBD.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. DJ Moore. Last couple questions for you. I want to center around him. He had that nice catch, little spinorama, got out of that, and then just ran up the sideline for a 40-yard gain. Just shit like that is what you're amazes you about him. His ability to do that. Literally 3 guys had him. All right, he spun out, gave ground, got around the 3rd guy. Talk to me about where do you think, how good of a season do you think this guy can have? Because he's going to be double covered. All right, they're going to shade a safety over him. They're going to bracket him. They're going to do all this other stuff. But they did that shit when he was in Carolina, and he still averaged 1,000 yards a season with 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. How good of a season do you think he will have this year? Because now he's got a legit quarterback. Now he's got other people as well, receivers who can pick up the slack as well. How good of a year are you expecting DJ Moore?
Yeah, I think he's proven at this point in his career that he's going to, he can get his no matter what. He's going to get his production regardless of quarterback quality, offensive line quality, other receivers quality. It almost doesn't matter where you throw him the ball. Between the screen pass against the Titans and then that deep curl against the Bills last week, that deep curl was caught, 15 yards down past the line of scrimmage, something like that. And he should have been tackled there dead on the right.
Should have been. Hell yeah.
Which still would have been a great completion and move the chains and good catch by DJ Moore. That would have meeting expectations, checking the boxes, catching the ball there and being tackled. And his ability to take that and turn it into what I think was 40 some odd yards, like that.
40.
When it's all said and done, that's where he's going to literally create for himself, where he can be one-man offense in that regard. That was all him. Fields got him the first 15 with the throw or whatever it was, but then he literally did it the rest for himself. He refuses to go down. And same thing with the screen pass, right? Where certainly the blocks were an important part of him breaking free on the screen pass against the Titans, but some of that's just him being fast, him taking good angles to set up the blocks, making guys miss. That to me is where you see him be so special, that not only is he a good enough route runner to get that separation, get open and catch the ball consistently, but then do some real damage after the catch. We have not seen Fields have a weapon like this. And that's what can take so many plays that we saw last year for Justin, where guy catches it and you just don't get any more than that. And pun intended, but he's going to get a lot more this season.
Great play on words. I love it. Good, man. So then over under, how many touchdowns do you think DJ Moore gets this year?
Touchdowns is tough because I still think we're going to see Justin, when we get to the goal line, his legs are such a big red zone weapon. The way we saw it too, it's you hate to take the ball out of Justin Fields' hands, even in a throw in some of those situations too much. So I'm not thinking DJ Moore's going to be a double-digit touchdown guy, but throughout the course of his career, he's been a 4, 5, 6, 7 touchdown type player, and that to me feels about right. He's going to get his catches and his yards for sure. When we get into the red zone, you got the big body of Chase Claypool, the big body of Cole Kmet, Robert Tonyan, even Mercedes Lewis, plus handing the ball off. The Bears are going to want to be a running team at the goal line. I think he may end up, from a fantasy football perspective, getting DJ Moore's touchdowns poached a little bit here and there, but he's still going to have a great season.
All right, so you didn't answer. Give or take. Just ballpark it.
I'll say 6.
All right. I had 8 to 10. I just think his yak, because of his yak. If he didn't have the kind of yak that he does and his ability to escape things, and not just here, not just that play on Saturday, he's been doing it the whole time in Carolina, like we talked about. So his ability to he's a big play guy, and his ability to, you miss, you slip, you hesitate for 1/2 a second, and he's gone. So that's why I said 8 to 10. And man, I hope I'm right. I'd love to see him get double digits. Man, that would just fire me up even more. Lauren, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it. Excellent job, man. As always. That's why I have you on as much as I do, because I love talking football with you. But do me a favor, let everyone know where they can find you and your work online.
Hey, happy to come on anytime. Really appreciate it. Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Sport or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Oh, sorry, Bob. You froze for a second. My bad. Hey, great stuff, buddy. I appreciate it. We will have you on again soon. All right. Bear the freak down, baby. I'm excited. This 2 weeks, I'm gonna be jonesing. I'm like, be calling me, man. Be calling. I'm gonna go watch all the game, the other three preseason games I recorded on DVR. I'll be watching those back the whole time because I'll be jonesing. Except on Saturdays, I'll be watching college football. But other than that,
we never account for the weird preseason bye week between the start of the regular season. Like in my brain, it's like preseason ends. All right, football's next week, right? Oh no, it's not. What? It gets me every time. So bear hang in there and bear down.
I will. Great stuff, Papa. We'll talk.
Thanks.
All righty. Guys, that's Lauren Cox from the Lockdown Bears podcast. And man, we are out of time. I want to thank my guest, Nomad from the Nomad Network, for coming on, talking Bears football with me. I want to thank my man, Lauren Cox from the Locked On Bears podcast for coming on, talking Bears with me. It's great, very Bears centric, very Bears heavy. Great stuff. I want to thank you, all right, for tuning in and making this the best Chicago sports talk morning show around. I truly appreciate it. So we got to run. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, Elliot Baez, our executive producer, Clarence Council III, our social media guy, my producer Steve Weekly, my co-host Adam Sencha Mayakai. Hope we were very entertaining. Okay, gave you some good info, and we will see you guys on Wednesday, same bat time, same bat channel, 9 a.m. to 11 Central Time. So, like I said, for everyone here, guys, have a great day. The weather's supposed to be beautiful this week. Where are we at today? High of 78 today. Shut the front door. What a day. 78 degrees today. Woo-wee. I like that kind of party. And let's see for the rest of the week, how does it play out? 81 tomorrow, 73 Wednesday, 78 Thursday, and it gets warmer. 86 Friday, 92 Saturday, 90 Sunday for Memorial Day or for Labor Day weekend. Okay. The week is turning into a nice one. Last week too. Hey, Brendan, thank you for coming on. Hopefully you join us on Wednesday and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 a.m. to 11. And listen, if you enjoyed it, pass it along. Tell your friends, tell your family, your friends to join. It's a great show. I love talking sports with you. I love your guys' interactions because that's what makes this super fun and entertaining. But yeah, thanks, Brian. I appreciate it, and we want to see you back on a regular basis. You'll become friends with everybody in the chat. They all have a little bromance going, which is cool. That's what I love. So, but for everybody here at Sports Zone Chicago, guys, I am your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. All right, we will see you same bat time, same bat channel on Wednesday, 9 a.m. to 11 Central Time. Enjoy the week. Enjoy the weather. Tell your loved ones you love them. All right, tomorrow's not promised or guaranteed to anybody. I'll see you on Wednesday. Your boy, the Superback. I am out.